everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we are doing a build of a massive abandoned jungle area on my junglecore island. I have loads of items which I have crafted and put together. I started building this area and I was like, actually I want to show everyone. Let's get straight into it. So I'm just putting down some trees. I think it's important to have lots of different greenery when creating a junglecore area, and just a junglecore themed island in general. So yeah, I've just gone ahead and put those down, and they're half grown actually, and that's to note as well, because actually sometimes when everything's the same height it doesn't quite look natural. I'm going to be using lots of stones and statues on this area, so if you want to recreate it then I definitely recommend really getting hold of those stones, and if you can't get hold of them I recommend going to Treasure Islands. I have one in the description of this video if you wanted to go and check that out. That's where I went, and this is not sponsored or anything, that's just genuine what is going on, because I know that getting stones is quite hard to do. So I'm just putting these stones down, and I wanted to do them in different angles and different ways to make it as realistic as possible, really. I wanted it to feel like the rocks have just fallen there and just naturally kind of gathered in that way. So I kind of experiment with different types of layouts for it, but overall it kind of finishes on this kind of arch, which I really like. But what I think is important when creating areas or islands like this is just to let your mind do what it wants to do. Don't hold back, and don't think that it looks different from someone else. But I do want to say that this video was very much inspired by this Instagram account I found the other day, and this area is what I'm using as inspiration. I'm not here to say that I created this area myself or got the inspiration myself, but I'm definitely using lots of features from this image and the Instagram in general to inspire me, but I'm not replicating it straight off, as you can see as this build kind of goes off. So then I put down some moss garden rocks in front. They've just got a different colour, a bit of depth to it, and I actually really liked them. They're slightly different when you spin them around, so I really liked that. So I put some of these along the front just to kind of make it feel a bit more natural. Again, right now it doesn't quite look natural, but I promise that when it's all come together at the end it will probably look more natural and more put together. So next I added some Stonehenges. Now this is important to me because the Stonehenges are great. They have lots of different size stones. So you can see on one side they have the stones on top of another, and the other ones are kind of just stood in some places a bit lower down. This is something that I think is really great for a junglecore island, just having the different heights of stone, as well as I use these on the outer corners to really make the kind of pyramid and area abandoned kind of almost like a hill, like abandoned rockery area, feel like it is the shape of a mountain, and give it that presence that I think it deserves. I put this on the back of my island because I want this back corner to be a big project I do. So this is phase 1 of this project. I will be working on this area for a couple of videos. Let me know if you definitely want to see those in the comments below. That'd be really interesting to know if you do. So now what I was doing is just adding some more cliff areas to this spot here. I realised that I wanted to add quite a lot to the next layers. I wanted there to be quite a height to it, so I knew that I needed to add a bigger base really to kind of allow myself to get the height. So now I just wanted to try out what the Stonehenges would look like on this area to see if they created the spike at the top. I can just to kind of make it go upwards a little bit more. I wasn't sure. I know they weren't equal, but I wanted to see what it would look like, and I wanted to do that because when I create an area, it doesn't all come naturally to me. I definitely play around with different items, and that was just pointless having those there, so I definitely went ahead and removed those. But be, experimental, don't hold back, put items down, go and have a look, remove them. I decided that I wanted to add another line to the back here because I wanted to create depth to the top, and I wanted things to be further back and further forward to create this really great grand mountain. And I also am tempted to have a viewing point. I'm not quite sure if I do want that yet, so that's what I'm just creating here, just to allow me to see what I could potentially be looking at in the future, as it's important to look from where you will be looking from when you play the game, as you get a completely different viewpoint. So I was quite happy with this. I mean, it was quite nearly just out of the shot, which was a little bit annoying, but it doesn't matter. We move with it anyway, and we'll continue to create it and work on that nearer the end. So now I'm just creating the second layer. You can see that I put down the pagodas as well. The pagodas didn't work on my area, so I just removed that later on in the game, but this is the second layer that I've got here. And yeah, I think this was a really great space, and this was luckily just perfect for me. So I knew that I wanted to extend these side bits out even more. I didn't think that any items could fit on this area, so I extended it both sides and pushed the cliff at the top back a little bit, as I knew I wanted to put something in front of it, if that makes sense. I wanted this to have 3 layers, so I put the 2 statues at the front here facing away. Again, that's very much inspired by the Instagram, which is linked in the description below, and then I could put something on the top, and it really creates the peak of the mountain. What's important when creating a stone jungle area like this is just making sure you've got it full of things. You don't miss out an area. Naturally on an area like this it will be busy, so what I made sure I did was any gap I saw I made sure I filled within reason. Obviously you can't fill everything with these islands, but within reason I filled up most areas I could see, and it just gives the optical illusion that it is realistic, it is busy, it is a physical thing on your island. And I had a last minute brainwave to add the rock head statue to the top here, and not going to lie, that was the best decision I made. I was going to add another statue same as the one below, but I decided not to, and this one was perfect. It fit perfectly in the middle, so that went really well. And then I add some of these potted plants. You can't see the pots, so don't be put off at the fact they're potted. You couldn't see this when you're at the bottom, you just see the different texture of leaf, and again, that is really important on these islands. It's natural to have lots of different types of leaf and tree and plant going on, so try to spice it up as much as you can. You can't quite see it here, the plants, but when you walk around you see them, and that's what's important. It's making sure this looks good from every single angle that you can see, from top and from bottom. So I wanted to add something on the side here to really branch out the mountain I have going on, so I put a stone archway. Now I pushed this to the back because I thought I want to add some depth, and actually it worked out really well, and I was really happy with it. So as you can see there, it's just peeking round the corner, and I knew then that there's this huge gap here, I want to add some things here, so I then went ahead and put some things around here, such as the garden rock next to the stone lion, just to kind of make that feel a bit more like a physical corner, and then I filled that up later, but I think at this point I then went round to go create it on the other side of the island as well, which is again something that's really important. Make sure you're doing it at the same time on both sides, that way you're in the same mindset when you create those areas. And like me, if you like a bit of symmetry, then create them at the same time and it can't really go wrong. It's easy to get confused if you don't do it at the same time and forget how many bits of cliff or how many bits of water you added to each area. So if you do it at the same time, there's less chance of mistakes. And when I was over on this side, I decided to add this potted plant. Again, you can't see the pot because it's just behind the garden rock. And yeah, I think this works perfectly. I actually forgot to add the stone arch there, so I then went ahead and added it at the end, even though I could not find it. And I placed it down there. And I could see there was something different, but I couldn't work out what it was. And it was the fact that the stone arch was closer to the cliff on one side than it was on the other. And then I couldn't get down. So I then had to play around with my areas there. And really, I couldn't work out what was up. So you might have to ignore me here. So I then began to fill the area in front of the archway. I tried to place down some trees in front, but it wouldn't work because they were too close to the cliff. So I added a bamboo tree. This is a fully grown bamboo tree. I did this because I wanted to cover up the hole in the arch, which is rather ironic because that is literally what an arch is. But I wanted to cover it up a little bit. So you can see there that it just covers it up, but doesn't cover it up too much to the point where then you can't see the archway. So yeah, I went straight ahead and did that on the other side, making sure it was all exactly the same. And I think this, was fairly easy and worked pretty well. And I really actually quite liked it in the end, having the bamboo tree in front there. I'm not normally a type of person to put trees on a second layer of stuff, but actually I'm really starting to become more like that and start to enjoy doing that a bit more. So I now went and collected some things to put up here to kind of cover up the greenery. The good thing is this back area isn't seen on the flyover, and I think if you could see this on the flyover it would almost ruin it a little bit. So yeah, I put this in a place that you couldn't see it in the flyover, but people will go and see on the island. So after I added those rocks, I then went straight over to the other side as always and did the exact same thing over there. Now I needed to add more cliffs to this area. I did this because I wanted to be able to add something next to the bamboo in front of the archway. So yeah, just adding one extra square of cliff can really make all the difference to what you can add. So I would recommend, just adding and seeing how it goes. I remember at this point just thinking I'm just randomly placing stuff down, but actually I'm making nature, if that makes sense. I'm making something that is meant to be nature in real life. It's unpredictable, it goes in random places, so I thought why not. And I really love these lanterns, so I just really wanted to add it. It fits in well. I mean, it's not quite the most natural thing, but I wanted to add them anyway. So that's what I went ahead and did. And a couple of last minute finishes was just adding this garden rock in front of it. Again, make it feel a bit more natural and like the mountain and rockery has all been falling down, and to look as natural as possible. So again, when you're trimming down your cliffs, just make sure that you add some more rocks to the front. So you're just covering up as much of the brown as possible and making it come across as really that silvery kind of stone colour, as the brown can just be seen and make it look less like a mountain or I don't know what I'd call this. I'm still undecided. Rock area, abandoned jungle, mountain, maybe. That has a ring to it, actually. Maybe it's called that. So yeah, I just put these in front there just to add more depth and to kind of ring it all together. And there we are. I think that is the final product, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to finish this area. I'm going to add so much more to the background, and so much more to the walkway at the front here. I absolutely love it. This is going to fit so well on my island, and has really allowed me to just go a bit more in detail about what I think junglecore is. And my junglecore island is definitely an overgrown, abandoned, almost lost jungle. So I absolutely love this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you got all the way to the end of this video, then comment. What should we get you to comment this time? Let's get you to comment abandoned jungle mountain. Yes, that sounds perfect. So yeah, if you got all the way to the end, then comment that below and let me know what you would imagine on an abandoned jungle island, as I am more than happy to start creating this island now and getting into the speed builds. I need to kind of fall back in love with speed builds, as I really struggled to create my European city core island. So if you have any suggestions, please do let me know in the comments below, and please do like and subscribe and share this to as many of your friends as possible. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.